You have 2 more children right now,
Yes, sir.
and you're married.
Proud.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you been married, or, you know?
We've been together for nearly 10 years.
Okay. So when you say been together, what do you mean by that?
We've been living together for about 7 years, or 8 years. But the Lord, after about 10 years on my own and dealing with this issue, living on the streets, because you can't get a job, you can't open up a bank account. By the time I was 21 years old, I learned that I just cannot get a bank account because money will just disappear. Are you talking about the child support system, or when you say money? Okay? Yeah, you see, it's all been reverse engineered. It wasn't until all this stuff with the child support came up this year that our daughter's mother really showed her true face, and that because she's really good at playing the victim and saying, I'm a codependent, I was wronged.
Is she still with her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend?
No, she is now divorced.
Yeah.
She and the stories that I've heard from my daughter are some of the worst.
You're not an official church wedding, though, or something like that, or a state-sponsored, a state-recognized marriage. You are more...
No, and we never will be.
And tell me more about that. Why?
Well,
because I think from what I hear you saying, a little bit that we've talked, I think that what you've been telling me is that if you go through a route that is recognized by the state, it puts you at risk.
It's one of the yes. That is one of the primary reasons that we didn't just fall in love and go get married. It is because my background and of course, that's with your home life under duress. That's what we've been working out. That is the reality of it. Is that it is extortion. Yeah. You're talking about the system itself, every aspect of it, especially when it comes to just the family court business. So, and then it's a business. That's exactly right. And so this is the thing that I think that many people don't realize, that you're being honest enough to talk about, is that marriage is something that, number one, it's not protected legally by the state. You're right. Yeah, you're right. I laugh because it keeps me from crying. But number two, marriage puts you at risk, and number three, marriage is the instrument or the vehicle that the state can use to pick the money from your pocket down the road. I mean, is that an accurate summation? Yeah. Especially just the whole adversarial nature of court itself. Being used as a vessel for if every problem, if all you got's a hammer, every problem looks like a nail, right? So I'm going to ask you a question here, and I mean an off-the-cuff question. Some people will tell you, we live in Texas. Texas has at least, if it doesn't have a deep faith, it has a veneer of faith by many people. But some people would say, well, you know what, Nathan? You're living in adultery. You have not been married through the state, in a state-recognized marriage. What's your response to them? Well, it always has been that marriage was not made by men. Right. Absolutely. Marriage was made for man. Right. And it's up to us. It all starts with our covenant with the Almighty. Right. And if you don't start with that, everything else is what you're going to get is tainted from that point forward. It's the fruit of the poisonous tree. And see, what I found with this, and I know some people listening may disagree with this whole idea, but I have seen people of very deep faith, and they have said, we have a covenant to God, and there is no way we are going to put the state in the middle, because the state will destroy what God has joined together. And when Jesus says that, what God has joined together, let no man take apart, I think that that's something that the state needs to consider as part of the policy, because the state inserts itself in marriage, says it needs to control marriage, and somehow the state is beneficent and knows more about marriage than the Almighty himself. And they have this thing called divorce, which they will
at a drop of a hat, they will side with the person wanting a divorce, and they know that it's going to cause destruction. They know. They know. Divorce causes destruction. And if they say otherwise, they're lying.
Right.
The governor knows.
That's right.
The attorney general knows. All of these representatives know. They're lying if they say otherwise. And yet, that's okay. So you have people that said, well, listen, we got married as an act of faith, an act of worship. But there will be no way we will put the state in there, because the state can destroy that which God has joined together. So, because you're not the first person that I've talked with that have said, I'm sorry, I will never, ever be married in a state marriage again, because the state is antithetical to my faith. The state will come in to destroy my faith. And I think with the issue of marriage, it's either a sacrament if you're Roman Catholic, as an ordinance if you're Protestant. And what sense can the state take a religious ordinance? And you talked about this, you referred to this earlier. It is an institution from God, established by God. It's part of our religious liberty, and the state will destroy it at will and say, your religious liberty, your ability to stay married, we can destroy it at will. On an allegation on, my wife has turned vegan and she does not want to be married to a non-vegan, and the state of Texas would say, marriage dissolved.
That's what they did. That's exactly what happened. Because he didn't know how to stand up for himself, as a man.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what's got to happen, is people have to say, the Constitution protects man.
Yes. Yeah.
And I am a man,
Yeah. And there's other things. I'm going to go on a little bit past this marriage issue, but I wanted to talk about the marriage, because so much of what we're talking about after that is focused upon the state's destruction of marriage. I mean, it doesn't have to just refer to that, but a lot of it refers to the state's destruction of marriage. The state's destruction of marriage, and taking any legal protection out of it, has empowered the state to do various things, like the Title 4D courts.
Yeah, they've made it beneficial. I mean, lucrative.
Right. And
extremely.